The end of this answer, I'm going to give you a little tiny peek at something that happened at my wedding, kind of related to hair. The question is around hair loss and hormones. The question is, I've been having hair loss, especially around the front edges. I'm 29. I have textured and curly hair. I moisturize often. I use vitamins. My hair still feels dry and it's been shedding for about a year now. How do I go about testing? Well, I will say that although hormones and hair are very closely related, and you can have hair changes related to hormone changes. So in OBGYN, we do see a lot of hair changes around pregnancy, postpartum, around perimenopause, menopause. We see a lot of hair changes that could be related to natural rhythms and cycles of life. We also know that hair goes through a life cycle probably around 90 days, and that sometimes it can get in phase and a lot of it can shed at the same time, which just means that it's going through its birth, death, life cycle around the same time. And that can be a little bit shocking for people when they see hair falling in the shower. But let's talk a little bit about what could be going on or what investigations could be done. So, I would suggest if hair loss is a big issue, you first see your family doctor, maybe even a dermatologist or a specialist that looks after hair loss. But initially, what you want to make sure is that you have a generalized examination. You want to make sure that you have a general history, physical. When did this start? How bad is it? Where are you losing the hair? Male pattern baldness is sort of at the front and a little bit at the back, whereas female pattern is kind of down the parts and starts to sort of spread from the middle. So is it male pattern or female pattern? That may be helpful, as well as what's your thyroid doing? What are your blood counts doing? Are you having iron deficiency or hypothyroidism? Some of the main things that would be picked up with an annual history, physical exam, and basic investigations. And then once that is done, it's important to have an understanding of the hair cycle and some of the things that you can do to think about looking after your hair. So I tell everybody for every reason we want to have a foundational lifestyle that really suits us and prevents ongoing issues, and it also helps your hair. So, healthy diet, exercising daily is going to get circulation to your scalp. It's really going to help those roots. Taking care of your hair. So, how about scalp massage? Really increase circulation, making sure you're not tying it too tight. So, if you're losing it around the edges or you've got those baby hairs around the edges, maybe you're pulling it into an elastic or you're using hair care products or heat that could be damaging to your hair. And it's really important to think about those things as part of the process. Another thing we want to think about is around hormone cycles and menstrual cycles, and could this be related to changes in hormones that may have to do with having extra androgens? So, do you have something like polycystic ovarian syndrome, which means you have an increase in the male hormones and maybe a decrease in female hormones, leading to irregular menstrual cycles or fertility issues, and that can contribute to hair and skin issues as well. Perimenopause, menopause, when there's a drop in estrogen, we know that hair follicles and skin have estrogen receptors, and so skin and hair and nails are sort of related as well. With hypothyroidism, for example, everything can be kind of dry. Hair and skin, nails can be very dry. With perimenopause and menopause, there can be a lack of collagen or a drop in the hormones, which can lead to changes in hair, nails, and skin. If you've looked into all those things and you've seen your family doctor and or a specialist, there are some treatments that are found to be helpful. One of them is minoxidil, so a topical minoxidil. Another one could be a topical finasteride. So this is going to help with hormone regulation. And we also know that if it's extra androgens or extra male hormones, anti-androgens that pull back on those male hormones, which are also helpful, for example, for PCOS, are things like drospirenone, which is an anti-androgen, and spironolactone also acts a little bit like an anti-androgen. So you don't want to be starting with those treatments, but there are treatments available after you see your healthcare provider for that initial workup and to make sure that there's just nothing else going on that could be easily treated. And then to really start to look after your hair and to think about whether it's serious enough to get started on some of these stronger, let's say, more medical treatments. I hope that's helpful. Oh, yeah. And I promised you a little story. So I have had such a relationship with my hair over the years. I'm telling you that my family has been blessed, absolutely blessed with very, very, very thick hair. And I've gone through my life trying all kinds of styles to the point when our best man in our wedding, who was looking through photos trying to create a nice romantic slideshow, actually did an entire slideshow related to the hairstyles that I have had over the years. So I'm blessed to have thick hair, but also to have played with it in a very frivolous way over my life. And that may be a little known fact about me that you didn't know. Hopefully you found that to be some fun.